guys, imagine a school system where all the students and staff alike had a positive can-do attitude that was uplifting, encouraging, and kind unconditionally. Imagine everyone working and living in our community had that same positive can-do spirit that was uplifting and kind, as well as welcoming and encouraging and helpful. Imagine the positive energy that would spark the passion in all of us. It would ignite us, it would compound that energy and help you achieve whatever it is that you are meant to achieve in life. Now, I don't know about you, but I call it that there are some suck my will to live people out there. And yes, you heard me say it right. They literally suck the life right out of you. They're always negative, always a Debbie Downer, always have a reason why something can't work or that it shouldn't work. And basically what I say to that is wah, wah. On the flip side of that, think about the people that you know who, and I'm going to say are mostly positive because they're not always positive, but they're mostly positive. They're upbeat, they're encouraging, they're kind. You're relaxed around those individuals because you know they accept you for you. They're also optimistic. And when I say optimistic, they're positive thinkers, they're solution-oriented, they're focused on results. And they look for what I call our win-win opportunities. And honestly, you like to be around these people because they make you better. Thinking about being better, in a book, right here is one of my favorites, How Full Is Your Bucket? It's by Dr. Donald Clifton and Tom Rath. And in their studies and in their research, they found that 9 out of 10 people say that they are more productive around positive people. Let's think about those who are closest to you, your friends, your family. How would you describe them? Would you say they're a positive Patty or a Debbie Downer? How about another one? Peppy Parker or negative Natalie? Basically what I'm asking you, and I know you guys heard this earlier today, are they a cup half full person or they are a cup half empty? Who would you rather hang with, maybe sit next to in class, or be on a ball team with? I'd even take the next step and say, who would you want to date? Maybe even marry. Now you guys aren't laughing, come on, give me a laugh. All right, so I don't want you to think too long about that because you guys have a whole lot of time for that. But seriously, attitudes are contagious. And just like an infection or a disease, negative attitudes can spread toxicity, poison, and destruction out of control. They can make you, or negative attitudes can just make you miserable. They can kill the spirit of a team or the momentum of your volleyball team in a matter of an instant. And likewise, that can happen in your classroom or in the work environment. Conversely, the positive attitudes, think about them as a ray of sunshine, always beaming down, gently warming and touching the things that it comes in contact with, helping it grow a little bit, maybe get a little taller, maybe give it a little bit deeper or richer color. Attitudes can be just as exciting, or positive attitudes can be just as exciting, energizing, and inspiring. They can push you to new limits. So I'm going to ask you all today as you sit here, what kind of attitude do you want to have? Now the cool thing is I didn't ask you what kind of attitude you had when you walked in this room today. Because right now you all have a choice, and it starts right now. Today I'm going to share a little bit about my own personal experiences and how I've had to handle negativity and the challenges that I've had in life. And I hope that I'm going to provide you with a little bit of guidance as you move forward with the power of positive thinking and to basically help you win in life. So I want you to leave it with this, is that you have a choice, you decide what your future holds, and you can make it happen. So now I know you might be thinking, so why should I listen to you? And who are you anyway? Okay, well first I'll say I'm a mom, and I have 2 kids in this school. My twins, Jake and Cammy Hawkins, are 8th graders. And you might know Allie, she's a sophomore, and she's soon to be 16. But beyond that, for 20 years, I've been serving as a teacher, a principal, and coach from pre-kindergarten all the way through college level. I also have my doctorate in educational leadership, and I'll add to this here in a minute, but it might be good to know that I also hire people. So a little bit about my life experiences. As you prepare to go into the workforce, yes, I've actually been involved in hiring people for 19 years. And for some of you who've been on the Buchanan campus, you might know Dr. Russell. Anybody know Dr. Russell? Okay, Dr. Russell teases me because he knows that I'm always looking to hire positive, peppy, passionate powerhouses. What I mean by that is that they're positive and peppy because they're uplifting and they're encouraging and they're kind. I also like to hire what I call passionate people because I know that they're passionate about what we do and they have the right core values. And then I say powerhouses because I'm looking for people who want to get the job done. They take initiative, they work hard, and they can follow through. And because of that, they make our team stronger and they make it much more fun to work with. Beyond hiring, you might be thinking, well, Hawkins, easier said than done. I haven't walked in your shoes or experienced your trials and tribulations, I get it. I haven't grown up with the peer pressure of social media or dealing with the exclusions that you might find in the mediums such as Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, or even on the gaming front. And yes, I know exclusions happen there too, because again, I'm a mom of kids your age. But I do know that I can probably relate. I grew up in Flint, Michigan, and my parents were divorced at an early age. I remember screaming and literally kicking walls and being really angry at my parents. I'd even say that I experienced domestic violence, as I have a lasting impression of my dad. He actually took a chair and lifted it up and put it into the ceiling of our kitchen, and I remember the 4 holes that it left as they patched it up. After the divorce, we went to live with my mom, and there are 4 kids. I have 2 brothers and a sister, and because my mom didn't work outside the home, we lived in what would be called temporary poverty. We even had governmental food assistance. I was a kid during that stage that I was the one that went to school with my hair that didn't get brushed. I was embarrassed because I only had hand-me-downs, and I had socks that didn't match. And because of that, people judged you by how you looked. And so when I went to PE class, I can honestly remember being in PE and being the last kid picked. It's funny, on a side note, is I became a PE teacher, and 2 sports paid my way through college. Back to my childhood. So after more difficult situations, my mom gave my siblings and I up to go live with my dad. And at that point in time, things changed for the better. My dad started, or actually at that point in time, I started putting all my positive energy or all my negative energy into something positive. And for me, that was school and sports, because I knew that education was my ticket out. My dad was a single dad raising 4 kids, and back before they had the TV show Extreme Couponing, that was our life. My dad was the extreme couponer back then, and that's how he was able to provide nice things for us. And it was during that time that I realized that actually I had it better off than a lot of other people, because I started to see things that I didn't see before. I had friends that when I'd go to their house, they did not have food in their cupboard. And I had friends that didn't have bedrooms. And I even had friends that didn't have beds to sleep on. I'll tell you, I haven't had a voice until today, just so you guys know. Since Friday, I haven't had a voice. And part of that, you can thank my volleyball team for that. But okay, so with that shared, I'm going to show you this little picture. I have a little life hack for you, because I'm going to talk with you a little bit about how life is not what happens to you, but it's how you react to it. I'm convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% on how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. Now, this is a quote that I actually had given to me from one of my coaches in high school. And it always kind of stuck with me, and there's actually a much longer quote that goes with it if you ever wanted to look it up. Likewise, Dr. Mark Seligman, he has a book called Learned Optimism. And again, I always think that readers are leaders and leaders are readers. So this book on Learned Optimism talks about how life inflicts the same setbacks and tragedies on the optimist as it does on the positive, or on the pessimist, sorry. And so basically it says that the optimist weathers the storm. So everybody has what I call baggage that they bring to the table, but it's how you react to it that makes a difference. He even goes on to say in his book that the optimists dealing with the same type of tragedies in life will perform better in school, they are better on the field, and they're better in life. And then he goes on to say that they'll even live longer, and this book says that they'll live longer for about 10 years longer. So by having a positive attitude, it's going to have a major impact on your life. So the first thing I'm going to challenge you is stay positive. And I'm going to talk about a substitute behavior, because what that means is when things aren't going well for you, you need to find out what you can invest in that's going to make you better. So whether it's sports, exercise, maybe it's creating YouTube videos, reading books, journaling, whatever that is for you, find a positive. So let's say you're thinking positive, you found some replacement behaviors. Now I'm going to challenge you to work hard to make it happen. And I wish I would have had this picture here because I took it out, but I'm going to go back. So when I say work hard to make it happen, I'm going to tell you a little story. Because my dad was like so super thrifty, by the time I got into high school, there were 5 kids. We were in a blended family. My parents made enough money that we didn't qualify for any aid, but I knew I wanted to go away to college and they couldn't pay to put 5 kids through school. So my goal was to go as far away from home as possible and to play ball. And because my dad was like so thrifty, as I shared with you before, he found this tiny little article in the Flint Journal about Hard Work U. And I went down to Hard Work U and I ended up making a volleyball scholarship. Well, in addition to that, really my true love was basketball. I really wanted to play basketball. So I went down there, I toured the college, I had a volleyball scholarship. I talked to Coach Franks. I said, Coach Franks, man, basketball's my love. I really want to play basketball. And he went on and on about how, hey, we went to nationals last year. We go to nationals every year. I've got all these great players coming back. In fact, you guys know Coach Glott. So Coach Glott was one of these like all conference players that he had on his team. And he basically told me, you're not going to make the team. So I kind of just prayed about it, and I went around through my life, went around, started volleyball, and all of a sudden one day he posted on the school campus wall, it says open basketball tryouts. I'm thinking, what? How can that be possible? Again, I wanted to make it happen because I love basketball. If I went to practice every single day and they let me be a practice player, I love the game that much that I would have did it. So one day, every day after volleyball practice, I'd go to basketball practice. And I was never told not to come back, and I was never really told to make the team. But Coach Franks is having everybody try on shoes. And I'm looking around thinking, oh crud, what do I do? So I just pretended like I did what everybody else was doing. I'm trying on shoes too. And so finally Coach Franks comes up to me and he's like, hey Smith, and that's my main name by the way. He's like, hey Smith, what size shoe you wear? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I wanted to scream inside like, oh my gosh, I made the team. But I just real casually just looked at him and I was like, size 10 coach. And so my point of sharing that with you is I just really worked my butt off to make it happen, and you can too. And so when I think about like some of the grit or the determination or the persistence just to keep coming back and keep going after it day after day, I had another coach who inspired me that used to give me this poem, and this is only one stanza of it because I don't want to bore you with it all, but it says, if you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win, but you can't, so it's certain that you won't. If you think you'll lose, well, you've lost, because out in the world you're going to find that success begins with the fellow's mind. And that's all in the state of the mind. So the gist of that is, if you think you can, you will. And if you think you can't, you won't. So you've got to start thinking about positivity. The next challenge I'll share with you is about positive self-talk and team talk. So the positive self-talk side is you're going to have people that are going to be mean and they're going to be hateful. And when I talk with kids every day, or I talk with adults, and even as adults, sometimes people are just mean. You don't want to be around them. And so you have to tell yourself, like, positive rehearsal in your mind, like, I can do this. I got this. You own this. Sometimes I've even told kids, hey, walk in and act like you own the place and just kill them with kindness. So that's your positive self-talk side. The team talk side, now this little team right here, and you know most of the players on this team, they are now ranked 10th out of 173 teams. And I can tell you, not only do they work really, really hard, but they have a lot of positive team talk. So I'll give you an example on that. So in volleyball, let's say you're getting ready to do what I call serve receive. It means they're going to serve, you're going to receive it. And let's say you go to pass that ball and you shake it. Okay, you don't need your teammate saying, or telling you what you did wrong. You don't need your teammate going, come on, pass the ball, or giving you a glare on the court. No, you're going to make mistakes. So instead, and this team is a great example of this, they're going to say, hey, you got the next one. You're ready now. And then they're going to give you a little encouragement. I'll give you a basketball example too. So let's say you're going to shoot a basket and you're playing a big rivalry team. And let's say you airball it. And your teammate looks to you and they're like, dude, pass the ball. How does that make you feel? Instead, what if your teammate said, hey, you got this. Keep shooting. You're going to make the next one. And they give you a high five. Obviously, that's a much better approach, and you're going to have a better result, and you're going to keep working harder. I'm going to leave you with a few other thoughts. Mary Kay Ash is like one of the most successful businesswomen. She was a founder of Mary Kay Cosmetics, and I'm not here to tell you. Sorry, Mary Kay. But I had the opportunity before she died to go to some of her women's conferences, and a couple of things that have always lasted with me is she would say, why put off till tomorrow what you can do today? So it kind of goes back to that whole get her done philosophy. Quit procrastinating. Just get on it. Get it done. And then she always talked about there being 3 types of people in the world. So I want you to think about this. Think about you. Are you one of those people who makes things happen? Do you watch things happen? Or do you wonder what happened? Which one are you? And then she'd go on to say, expect great things will happen. So expect results, expect success. And then miracles happen. And so basically, in summary, number one, you got to believe. You got to think positive. Then you have to work hard and make it happen because you have a choice. You have a voice in what your future holds. So you just have to find your passion, invest into it, and then make it happen. And then I'd say, I believe in you.